If you are a young lady or a woman that has experience with daddy issues, this post is for you. And if you don't, you could just keep on scrolling. Growing up, especially in my early years, all the way up until high school, I've had pretty much a rocky relationship with my dad, and my mom was a single parent. When I graduated high school, I just really had like this self-awareness of realizing that a lot of the guys that I was choosing to be in relationships with, they were very similar to my dad. I had no idea why this was happening, but they had a lot of the same characteristics. And I later found out that I was seeking that love from my father, so I was trying to find that in men. When I got around the age of about 19, 20, I wrote him a letter. This letter was very vulnerable, it was very open, and it was raw. I was pretty much letting him know everything that I had went through when it came to the stretching relationship with my mom growing up and what I saw her experience because of their divorce, and what type of experiences I was having with men, and how pretty much not having him as active as I wanted him to be negatively impacted my life as a woman. And I'm telling y'all, this letter was probably about 5 pages long, and I gave it to him, and I was like, I'm wiping my hands off with it, but I wanted to make sure that I was getting out all of the anger and the abandonment issues, the trust issues, everything that just pissed me off about him. I made sure that I wrote it in that letter, but I also made sure that I did it with love in a sense, because at that time I was technically an adult. I was still a child, and I wanted to be respectful. I wanted him to know how much he had hurt me growing up, making the decisions that he did. I had no idea that that letter would be the start of us rebuilding the beautiful relationship that we have today. He's not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning who he is, especially as I transitioned into my womanhood. I got married. Now I'm a parent. I see that we're having a lot more deeper conversations on just life and relationships, and just how to maneuver this new level of family that we are now creating. I say all of this to say that if you have had issues with your father, whether it be in the past or currently, or if they're deceased, if they're actively present, if they're absent, really take the time to write a letter to them and say the things that you want to say. And don't hold back. Like, get all of that anger, resentment, all the anguish that you feel, put it on that piece of paper and let it out. And if you choose to send it to them, send it with love and let it be that, and be okay with whatever outcome comes out of it. In my situation, I didn't think that he was going to come back to me with open arms and apologize. And as time went on, he later expressed to me that that letter broke him. He didn't have no idea that the imprint that he put on my life as a man impacted me so much, and how I carry myself as a woman. That has been a domino effect for him, and how he carries himself with other men that he is in relationships with that have daughters. Pretty much just being there for them and just letting them know, like, hey, if you're having issues with your child, like, sit and talk with them, because I had to man up and I had to take accountability for my actions and have those tough conversations with my daughter and let her voice her concerns without being defensive, and just hear her out. So I just say, write the letter, whether you give it to them or not, just release it. Release it and be done. And if something beautiful comes from that, that is awesome. And if it doesn't, if you don't get a response back, or even if they're deceased, just know that you did the work in making sure that all of those emotions and those feelings was laid to rest. You have to do this to be able to move on, and to be able to have beautiful and fruitful relationships in your present and in your future. And I know that me taking that step and doing that thing, it helped me have better relationship with men, whether it was platonic or romantic, because I forgave the person that hurt me first.